Hey friends, welcome back to a brand new video about the dark and mysterious world of Garten of Banban 8. Today, unfortunately, I don't bring good news. In fact, we might be facing one of the saddest announcements in the entire series. A beloved character might have been permanently removed. Forever. Yes, you heard that right. One of the characters we've come to know might never return again. In this video, I'll show you official evidence, screenshots, documents, and clues. And no, this isn't just a wild theory. There are real signs that this character has been cut out of the story. But before we dive into this devastating news, I just ask one small favor. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, smash that like button, and most importantly, turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any future updates about Garten of Banban 8. On this channel you'll find theories, official news, secret lore, and everything related to the Banban universe. And trust me, what's coming in the next chapters will be even darker than we imagined. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you the evidence, the screenshots. And now, get ready. Let's see who is this character and the official clues. And here we are at the most important part of the video. Who is the character that might have been permanently removed from the Garten of Banban series? Well, the answer is shocking. The character in question is Nabalina. Yes, her. The female counterpart of Nab, officially introduced in Chapter 3. A creepy and mysterious creature that could have played a major role in the next chapters. But instead, something seems to have gone terribly wrong. By doing some research on the official trademark registration site, we found something that we simply can't ignore. One of the trademarks linked to the Garten of Banban franchise appears to be abandoned. You heard that right. It's been officially cancelled. And the trademark in question is none other than Nabalina. On the website, it's clearly marked as dead and abandoned. In the world of registered trademarks, this means only one thing. The character is no longer legally protected by the brand. And that means she might not appear in the series anymore. And it doesn't stop there. From the screenshot I'm showing you now, you can clearly see that among all the characters in the franchise, only Nabalina is marked as abandoned. All the other trademarks are still active, protected and valid. This is truly heartbreaking news for Nabalina fans, a character with so much potential, with a unique design and a mysterious backstory waiting to be explored, and yet it seems like there's no more space for her in the main storyline. Or at best, her role might be so minor that she's now considered irrelevant, to the point that they didn't even bother renewing her trademark. But why such a drastic decision? Maybe the character didn't get the attention the developers hoped for, or maybe they've decided to go in a completely different direction for the future of the series. These are all questions we'll try to answer in the next part of the video, but one thing is certain, the removal of Nabalina's trademark is a very clear sign. But before we try to understand what could happen next, let's take a step back. Let's retrace the story of Nabalina to understand how this character has influenced the series so far, because even if she didn't appear that often, every time she showed up, she made a big impact. Nabalina was introduced for the very first time in Garten of Banban Chapter 3. At that moment, no one knew what to expect. Our mission during her segment was quite unusual compared to other characters. We had to heal her, but be careful if we failed. If we didn't succeed in helping her, she would attack us without mercy. It was a unique role that made her different from the others. Not a direct enemy, at least not at first, but rather a fragile, unpredictable creature. But then, she disappeared. In Chapter 4, Nabalina did not appear at all. Instead, we only saw Nab, her male counterpart. This left many fans wondering, what happened to Nabalina? And the answer came later in the story. In Chapter 6, we had a major plot twist. At the end of the chapter, when Sir Dadadu appeared with his terrifying group of notifieds, among them was Nabalina. This means that Sir Dadadu managed to take control of her. He transformed her, he broke her will, erased her identity, and turned her into one of his evil minions. A truly chilling moment that showed us how far Nabalina had fallen into darkness. From confused and fragile to a tool of the main villain. But her story didn't end there, because Nabalina returned once again in Chapter 7. At the beginning of the chapter and then during the final battle, that epic moment when Jumbo Josh faced off against all the notifieds. And yes, Nabalina was one of them, and unfortunately for her, she was defeated, wiped out just like the others. That scene could very well be her final official appearance. A symbolic goodbye maybe? Or maybe it was already a sign that the developers had decided to remove her completely from the series. Now let's dive into theory territory. What could happen to Nabalina in the highly anticipated Garten of Banban Chapter 8? Did her story really end with the final battle in Chapter 7? Or could there still be one last scene, a brief moment before her final goodbye? Well, let's start with a key detail. As we saw in the ending of chapter 7, there was a crucial moment for the evolution of the story. Syringan, a character introduced later in the saga, was able to heal and save all the characters who had been transformed into notifieds. Thanks to his intervention, the mind control of Sir Dadadu was broken, and all those creatures who had lost their identity were finally set free. This includes Nabalina. So, it's very likely that in chapter 8, at least for a brief moment, we'll see Nabalina among the rescued characters. Maybe she'll appear just for a few seconds, standing among the others who were saved from Sir Dadadu's influence. But here's the key point. After that short appearance, something final might happen. Nabalina might simply run away, disappear into the shadows and vanish without a trace. A silent but symbolic exit. A way to say goodbye to the character without big drama, but with narrative consistency. And from that moment on, we may never see her again. No more appearances in future chapters. No more role in the story. Only the memory of what she was and what she could have been if the story had taken a different path. If the Euphoric brothers really choose this direction, it would be an extremely meaningful decision. It would mean that, at this point, Nabalina no longer has a clear purpose in the storyline, that her narrative arc has come to an end, and that there's no reason to keep her around if she has no specific role anymore. And here it's important to compare her to Nabnab, her male counterpart. Nabnab's situation is completely different. He has had more screen time, more development, more depth. Let's not forget that Nabnab is not just a scary monster. He's also one of the few characters directly connected to Banban. He appeared in Stinger Flint's flashbacks, and there are many clues suggesting a complex, maybe even tragic backstory. In other words, Nabnab is deeply rooted in the lore. He has personality, history, and strong connections with the main cast. That makes him a character who is essential for the narrative structure of the series. Nabalina, unfortunately, never reached that level. She has always remained a secondary figure, interesting but underdeveloped. And now, with the news of her trademark being abandoned, everything seems to suggest that her time is over. In conclusion, in chapter 8, we might witness Nabalina's final scene, a short appearance among the healed characters, and then darkness, a lonely escape into the unknown, which could mark the final farewell to this character in the Garten of Banban saga. And so, my friends, here we are at the end of this video. Remember, this is a theory. Today we talked about a truly sad topic. The possible final exit of Nabalina from the Garten of Banban saga. We looked at the official evidence, we went over her full story, and we explored what could happen to her in chapter 8. A character who, even though she wasn't one of the main stars, still managed to leave a mark and now might be saying goodbye forever. If you were also surprised or saddened by this news, let me know in the comments what you think, and tell me if you believe Nabalina deserves a return in the future. And as always, thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, leave a big like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming updates about Garten of Banban 8. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.